The world of Gangsta is becoming ever more complicated. In the first episode, well, actually in the opening, we're shown a world that's full of drugs, sex, and danger. And in the first episode, we were shown a little bit of each of these. And in the second episode, we were shown all about the danger when we saw the tagged fight. Holy crap, that was a ton of danger. We were kind of hinted at just how seriously messed up this world was. And now in this episode, it feels like they're really getting across the sexual nature of the world. For example, we find out that Warwick's main job is actually being a gigolo. He changes his words depending on who he's talking to. When he's talking to other prostitutes, he says his main job is being a handyman, being a mercenary kind of person. But when he talks to other people that don't have anything to do with prostitution, he tells them his main job is being a gigolo. So it's very complicated. It's obviously something that he's half proud of and still half embarrassed about. Like, it was something he probably had to do to survive back when he was young. But now that he's grown up, he's just kind of using it as a way to show how awesome he is. Like, he's still quite confident and able to say, yeah, I still get quite a few customers, aren't I hot, kind of thing. But at the same time, he's a bit embarrassed about it. He doesn't particularly like it too much, but it's become a part of who he is. So it's very complicated. I like it. Warwick is a much deeper character than we thought. Now, on top of this, we found out a lot more about the world. A lot more about the tags, and a lot more about Nick and Warwick's pasts. And it was all dark as shit. No joke. We saw flashbacks between Nick and Warwick's past, where Nick was like a very young boy, and yet clearly a cold-blooded killer already, covered in blood, standing over Warwick's dead parents, I'm assuming. I'm not sure if it actually was Warwick's dead parents, because you see, this could go either of two ways. Either Warwick's parents were dicks, and so Nick was kind of helping him when he killed off the parents, which would make sense. Like, that would explain why they're such good bros after all these years. Or it could be that Warwick's parents were killed by someone else, and that Warwick was about to be killed too, and Nick saved him by killing whoever was going to kill him. Yes, this is all very confusing. I'm really not sure which one it is. It depends on if we find out how Warwick actually felt about his parents, and if we ever find out more about Nick's past. Because Nick's past is the big thing here. Warwick's past, obviously, he was obviously a member of a pretty important family back then. Like, you can tell because he looks like a gangster even back in those days. So it's probable that his family was either rich or they were, in fact, dangerous people, criminals. Again, not sure which one. It's all still very confusing. But I do think they were like a big name. Whether a good big name or a bad big name, no one knows. But I mean, they even had their own mercenary family hired, which Nick was apparently a part of. Because it says that Warwick's family who had hired the mercenary that ended up killing them. And everybody thinks it's Nick who killed them. It even has a picture of him and his little mercenary unit when they were kids, and that's really cool, but also kind of messed up. Oh god, it is really confusing and so weird. Like, we found out a little bit more about the Twilights now as well. Apparently, their curse kind of thing, with their super strength and everything else that comes with it, has to do with a drug. Like, they have to take a drug to either stay alive or just to get their powers. I don't know. Oh god, it's so confusing. But I mean, Big Mama, the prostitute leader, basically says they're just drug sufferers when she's talking about the Twilights. So she sees it as more of a condition of pain rather than a power. And we're starting to see that because Nick seems to have some issues as well. It seems to be that Nick has problems with pain throughout his body when he doesn't take his meds. To explain why he took so many of them the last time when he first got given them by Nina. It's probably pretty agonizing when you think about it if they go through drug withdrawal continuously. And we also have Warwick, who feels pain in his eye when he's remembering when he clearly lost his eye when his parents were killed. This is such a messed up anime. There's so much deepness to it. And it's all dark and gritty and I love it. And we also got to see, actually, Warwick go on one of his jobs with a surprisingly hot chick who has a husband. But seriously, damn good looking chick. Doesn't really need to pay for this kind of stuff. And yet, she even offers to pay extra to have Nick included and have a three-way. So yeah, she quite a slut too. But still, funny. And Warwick, again, shows how he's not quite satisfied with just being a gigolo. He says, Nick ain't a gigolo, you dumbass, kind of thing. Like, he's really pissed off at her insinuating that Nick would even do that kind of thing for money. So, I don't know. Either Nick has too much pride and Warwick knows it, or Warwick's just embarrassed about himself in general. So it was really cool. We found out so much today. Lots of questions still around, for sure. But we found out quite a bit. We also got to meet another crime family, who has a family member who looks a lot like Ginkgo from Mushishi. Just throwing that out there. Also, pretty much like Deccan from Death Parade, since they pretty much look the same as well. Maybe these three are all brothers and it's all connected. Or maybe it's an immortal guy who lived from way back in ancient times as a Mushishi. Survived right the way through to these times where he's now a mobster. And then finally gave up on life and instead became a dummy arbiter. How about that? Yeah? No, okay. Moving on. The family offered Nick to come along and basically train their men. And they were really harsh about Warwick within it. Like, they spoke directly to Nick and said, why don't you come back and join the family? We don't mind taking the gigolo with you if that's what makes you happy. That was so cold. And Warwick took that shit. So this must be, again, a big, dangerous family. He just stood there quietly. And even Nick, when he responded, was being super fucking respectful. So a seriously dangerous family. Oh, it was deep. And we got to learn a lot more about how other people treat the tagged as well. Like, the prostitutes are pretty much terrified of the tagged. They talk about them as if they're monsters. And obviously Warwick wasn't happy with that. I loved when he slammed the prostitute against the wall. And was just like, don't you dare open your dirty mouth about him like that again. And then said that horrible line, or I'll put another gaping hole between your legs. Jesus Christ, that was deep. Amazing, but a little bit too far. But still, incredible. Incredible scene. I love the hell out of it. It just shows you how much Warwick gets pissed off when other people take the piss out of Nick. He can't take that. That's the one thing he can't take. These guys are total bros, and I love the hell out of that. Oh, God. So the final thing that was going on throughout this episode was just Alex deciding whether she was going to stay with Nick and Warwick. People were continuously warning her, it's too dangerous. Just get the hell out of there and leave. Leave the city. Even Warwick himself was saying this place is dangerous. If you stay here too long, you'll get stuck here. Earlier on in the episode, when they were talking about the empty streets that they always go down, it was because those are the only streets that apparently Twilights are allowed to walk on. A little bit of racial segregation going on here as well, which is another very deep theme. I guess it's always been a part of the story since they are tagged. They have to wear tags around their necks to identify themselves, like certain races were forced to back in the days. So yeah, this one is getting darker and deeper. And Alex is thinking of Benria as a paradise kind of thing. She was thinking of it as the beginning of the episode. And even towards the end, after everything that happened and how dark it was getting, she still thought of it as a bit as paradise. And so she's really settled down into her life there. She's enjoying the hell out of it. She's shocked at what she's learning about Nick and Warwick, but she's still going along with everything and enjoying it. So maybe she is set out for this life. Who knows? Anyway, I love the hell out of this episode. Not a ton happened, but we found out so much. They really took the time to explain everything slowly in this episode, which is awesome. Because episode 2 was so action-packed and I love the hell out of that. But every now and then we need to get some answers. We need to get some more answers about their past and about the drug thing, the Twilight thing. I want to know, man. I want to know. So thanks for listening, guys. Leave a comment to let me know what you thought of this episode and everything that happened in it, because I know I've been talking for a long time about just about everything. Like if you enjoyed the review, and subscribe if you haven't seen more, and I will see you guys next time.